everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's 2022 Tournament Game 4, where we are playing Nazca. This is turn 25, and we're alive by some miracle of nature. So let's just jump in and see how things are going this turn. We have starting things off. We have two fights, right? We attacked into Satrandith, and this was our Paquo of the Mountain Spirit coming in to swarm. So we knew going into this, it was if we get like 1 to 6 PD, we'll potentially be fine with the swarm casting. If we get anything more than that, then this Paquo of the Mountain Spirit is probably dead. And I kind of like, I kind of said in the last 2 turns or whatever that that's fine, right? Like if we lost the Hot Ten Runa that we had, if we lose this Paquo of the Mountain Spirits, that's just a little less upkeep that we have, and honestly they're not really doing that much else for us. That's probably not true. That's probably a bad take. This is, if we lose this guy, we are losing power. A Swarmcaster is still power, even if it's not like the biggest amount of power for us. It's just, I'm blasé about my resources at this current point in time, so it's just kind of whatever. I do think these guys are really interesting with, like, Bringer of Fortune. Like, if it weren't for the fact that they have Heretics, so, like, massing them will just nuke your Dominion. I wonder if you could, like, counter with enough Preaching. And then if you took, like, they're inept researchers, but if you took, like, Magic Scales, right, like Magic 3, they would still research okay. And then if you could, like, mass them, like, turn 50, you'd have, like, if you did, like, 2 locations, turn 50, you could have, like, 40 to 45-ish, right, of them. I wonder if that would actually result in anything good. Because, I mean, Firebirds are Bringer of Fortune too, and you need, like, a shit ton of them to start to guarantee a decent amount of events, right? So Bringer of Fortune 1 would be like, I don't know that that would work. And they're so, like, they're not horribly expensive upkeep wise, but, like, I mean, they're not good for what you're getting out of it from a actual, like, battlecaster sense or from research sense. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, random stuff. If this is more than 6 PD, we're dead. If it's more than 6 PD, we're dead. There is the off chance, I mean, it's pretty low, but there's 2 commanders here. If the Flyers immediately take out, like, 1 commander and then move on to the next, there's a low percentage chance of us getting this, but, oh, I mean, they did encircle this guy. They immediately dinged him. He is poisoned. We need more than that, though. 1 poisoned is not going to do it. Nope, we need more dings. More dings! Aw, dings! Oh god, they're closing. Yeah, no, that's no. Alright, well, that's that. Is he gonna die at least? Do we get our vindication? Okay. At least that guy died. Alright, so we lost Paquo there. That's unfortunate. It is what it is. And then we had an attack on Bara. Again, kind of the same-ish type of situation. We sent a bunch of wolves with a werewolf here. If enough of the wolves die, they will HP route the werewolf, so this is kind of a 50-50 scenario. If there's, like, 1 to 6 PD here, we'll probably be fine. If there's more than that, we're probably fucked. And yeah, that's probably more than 1 to 6 PD. We're probably fucked. What is this? Militia, light infantry. The heavy infantry alone can deal with all of these wolves, so I don't know. This could be, like, 6 PD, but I think this is closer to, like, 10 or so. Ooh, and then we got in the background, we got a shaman and a dwarven smith. I bet these guys are just here for site searching. Yeah, they're on retreat, so they're just here for site searching, which is a little ballsy considering this is right next to Ashdod military. So, Okay, wolves come in. Actually had a decent round there against the militia. Looks like the militia is already routed. Yeah, no, but the problem is if the militia route immediately caused the heavy infantry to route, then maybe it would be a thing. But the heavies can fight through like 50 wolves, right? They don't care. So, Nazca routed. The werewolf didn't even get in combat, which is probably good because the werewolf probably would have died to all of these attacks. So lost 22 wolves there. That's kind of whatever. Okay, so battles for the turn versus Agartha 0 wins, 1 loss, and versus Vanheim 0 wins and 1 loss. So not a great record for us, but honestly weren't really expecting a very great record. Kind of is what it is. Unexpected event this turn. A huge number of people have suddenly immigrated to this province, so increased population in Toledo. So events this turn, 1 positive event. Toledo gained plus 100 or plus 510 population. So that's kind of neat, I suppose. It's kind of just like a neither here nor there style situation. We don't really care. And then apparently a couple people were watching what's going on in Nazca because we just killed 4 scouts. Well, we might not have killed this one. This one might have actually successfully routed, so. And we did kill the majority of the troublemakers in the capital. Nope, all of them. Great, fantastic. All right, cool. What are we doing? We're basically in the same boat that we were last turn. We have a little bit more income than we did. So recruitment this turn, we are recruiting a Runancha or Runanka. Not sure what the pronunciation is, but we're recruiting a scout, basically. And that's pretty much it for recruitment, because we don't have any money. Why are we recruiting a scout? Just because we don't really have a whole lot to do, so one of the only things that we can do is try to watch what's happening with other people, right? So there you go. As far as special recruits go, we are doing 2 more Supayas and 3 wolves, because the werewolf is just going to start summoning wolves again. So we're doing that. And that's most of the actual reportable things that we can do. Research-wise, we're going to be finishing up Evocation 4 next turn. Kind of prospecting the look towards Enchantment 5. You quit that, boy, O'Bean. You're not supposed to touch things. You're not supposed to touch things. Bad boy. It's a bad boy. It says, Papa, I'm the best boy. No, you don't bite. You can't be... What are you... What? You can't be seeking attention and then trying to bite and claw me. I won't have it. No, sir. No, sir. None of that. Alright, anyways. What are we doing? Couple of things. First thing is we are going to actually go on an offensive now. Why are we actually going on an offensive now? Well, we talked about last turn, right? Why weren't we going on a good offensive last turn? 1, we needed to patrol things in Nazca down so we could actually have some money. And 2, there was an army here in the Royal Green and an army here in Olier, right? Those armies aren't there anymore, so we have more safety to actually go out and do things. First thing that we are doing is we are sending forces here to Bara, and we are sending forces here to Bara with the knowledge of Vanheim, right? Vanheim, I can't remember if I reached out to Vanheim or Vanheim reached out to us and was after the, attack last turn. And we told them, hey, we're going to try to take back our cap circle. And they were like, okay, whatever. We'll make sure there's nothing there. That being said, there is still a lot of PD there, so we are sending a decent-sized force to try to do something about it, right? We probably should have these guys closer to the front so that they can actually really make contact. 23 heavy infantry is more than enough, but the Hatenruna might actually cause some problems by dying, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, we're attacking in Bara, and we are just moving out some more support to Miratrand so that we can start doing more capturing of Hatenruna. And then we're making 2 actual attacks, one in Satrandith, one in Mark. So the first one in Mark is a legitimate force, right? So we're going out there, we're going to do Summon Earth Power, Strength of Giants, Strength of Giants. The first Strength of Giants absolutely will hit, right? The second Strength of Giants can be a little finicky. The burbs will be going up in the air or already up in the air, and sometimes I don't know. people probably have a better understanding of this than I do, but what I've seen sometimes, you'll throw out the Strength of Giants, and when flyers go up in the air, they are technically still in the space that they were in, right? Until they land in the new space. So sometimes Summon Earth Power, Strength of Giants will actually get both Strength of Giants to cover a broad range, but other times it'll just be a single Strength of Giants that actually hits. Anyways, or so it seems to me. Regardless, this should get a fair number of the important individuals. And this, this size of a force should obliterate what we saw as far as PD goes in Mark a couple turns ago, right? The other one is, I think, a more interesting attack. Boy, if you don't quit. You are needy. I have petted you today. You stop. Mwah. I'm gonna kiss you until you quit. Mwah. I'll do it. I'll do it again. Alright, so this is, I think, the more interesting one. It is Pachacuti, right? So this is our really cool hero. I hate to risk him like this, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a risk because of the alteration that we have, right? So Iron Skin, Temper Flesh is going to make him have plus or 30 plus protection, and he's going to have Temper Flesh to be able to reduce all damage down. We've got a very thick kit on him, right? And he should be able to do just about anything. The other thing is he is air, right? And air earth, so he can do things like Mist Form and Flying Shield. So he's going to have a shit ton of protection on him. And then honestly, the thing about it is I don't think he's going to have to do any work, because I think a single size 6 Earth Elemental is going to do just fine against the amount of PD that we've seen here. Because we see in Satrandith, this is it, right? Now, this is a lot of PD, but this PD isn't going to do shit to a large Earth Elemental. And 5 small Earth Elementals, right? Like, they might kill the small Earth Elementals, but those small Earth Elementals are just as likely to punch them in the fucking dicks, So, very likely that Pachacuti doesn't have to really get involved at all before everything else is dead. And if he does have to get involved, I don't think that anything is going to get through Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, Mist Form, Flying Shield, and all of this protective gear. And if it does, he's going to stab it in the face. So, should be pretty easy peasy. And right? Like, this motherfucker's stacked. He's fine. He's fine. I have nothing to worry about. And that's honestly kind of it, right? Like, so we're making these 2 attacks. We're pretty confident in all 3 of them. Taking these 3 provinces is going to give us almost double the income. No, it's not quite double. It's going to give us a little bit more income to play around with, so that maybe we can actually start getting some Sun Guard or something like that. Research-wise, did we really talk about research? We're continuing up evocation, prospecting the idea of going into enchantment, just to see what's what. And that's honestly pretty much it. The battle, here's some interesting stuff. The battle between Vanheim and Ashdod continues. We're trying to chase Ashdod's army around over here. So fingers crossed that actually works out. And we're also trying to chase Ulm and Agarthan conflicts. There's this really big army over here that Ulm's been talking to me about being worried about. Ulm has a stack in Rim Mountains that is gonna face off, but it might be a couple turns. And it's not the heavy infantries or the Magma Children necessarily. It's the Great Ulms, because there is a large-ish stack of Great Ulms. And Great Ulms are, they're Mind Blasters, which is a magic resistance thing, and Ulm's big issue is magic resistance. So this is potentially a dangerous thing for Ulm, but Ulm seems to be pretty confident. They have a lot of crossbows, to my understanding, so they sounded pretty confident in their opportunities. The other thing to really, I think, is interesting is this, right? Pelagia, right? So this used to be an Oceania flag, and I'm pretty sure this is Oceania. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is Pelagia, meaning that the rumors that I have been hearing that it's not a 1v1v1, but it's a 2v1 and the 2 are losing, seems to potentially be true, which is really bad, right? And I think the entire lobby is like, oh no, because if Pelagia wins against Yis and Oceania, a 3-cap Pelagia, even if it takes them another 10 turns, right? A 3-cap Pelagia by turn 35. Hell, even if it takes them another 20 turns, right? A 3-cap Pelagia by turn 45 with no one else to really contest them in the water. Because I'm going to say that I'm not going to be able to contest them in the water. I'm a little fucked at the moment. And, you know, I don't think Agartha is maybe going to be able to contest them in the water. Because Agartha might be fucked at the moment. We'll see. Right? That's a bad deal. That's one of those scenarios of like, unless a nation like Vanheim or something like that can do a throne rush on land, that almost feels like just signing the game over to Pelagia at that point, right? Because no one's going to be able to attack them reliably, and I guess the upside is that there are no underwater thrones, right? So for Pelagia to win, they have to come on land, and maybe a coalition like a Coast Guard can actually like keep them in the water. You know what? I should form a Coast Guard because no one will suspect me of being like any sort of malevolence at this point, because everyone in the game knows how tiny I am. So, anyways, that's basically the situation. Some pretty interesting turns of events, and us just kind of doodling around. We'll see how things go. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.